We were a large neighborhood because we were near the Catholic Church. So we had 6 in our family. Next doors had 5. Across the street they had 4. They had a shop out in the back. I mean, the guys were always over there working on cars. My brother rebuilt a Malibu, and it was just a lot of neighborhood kids. We would all hang out together.
I lived in the same house for 18 years. We did chores. We raised rabbits, chickens, quail, and ate from the garden. We churned butter from fresh cow's milk from a dairy. And we ate meals together at the kitchen table that he built. I am the youngest of 6 kids. There were 3 girls and 3 boys. And I was born in the 60s. Dad went to high school and graduated from Clinton High School. He was apparently quite a man. He opened the doors for the ladies. He carried the books. He was very handsome. He was always dressed proper. He was very big into sports, and so many different sports. He didn't focus on one. He was involved in them all. He played football. He played track. He played basketball.
But my dad's skill, his combination of mental and physical was phenomenal. That's why he was so exceptional and had a great college scholarship. You know, being a 4-sport letterman at Clinton.
Dad kicked the winning field goal at Clinton High School, and Dad had a sprained ankle.
I remember when I was a young man, it was very difficult for my dad raising 6 kids on his own, and I was probably 11, 12, something like that, and he was having a real hard time with us, and we were rough kids. And Dad drove us up to the orphanage. I'll never forget this as long as I live. He piled us all up in the station wagon and drove us out to the orphanage. And he had a heart-to-heart. He said, guys, if we don't come together as a family, he goes, I'm going to lose all y'all. And he goes, because we just can't keep going the way we are. And he goes, we got to, stay together and try to work through this. And, it scared us. And he drove us up to the front gate of the orphanage out there on 39th by Lake Overholser. But in some aspect, it worked because, we did regroup and we came together as a family and continued the journey growing up.
He allowed us to spread our wings, to survive, to learn, to fall, to get hurt. It was just part of growing up and learning.
Back in the day, when you had tonsillitis, and most kids had it, you took the tonsils out. That was what they did. And all 6 of us had our tonsils out at the same time, came home and ate ice cream and ground hamburger meat.
And we stayed overnight. First time we'd ever had anything like that happen in our life. We thought that was like we were at a resort, And we go to a hospital, and we had all of our tonsils taken out.
And Dad got a good night's sleep that night. He said it was real quiet around the house, and I cannot imagine how many doctors and nurses retired that day after us 6 hooligans in the hospital, but we had a ball. He joined the Clown Association. He picked his own clown name, his face, his makeup, and his costume. He was known as Cowboy Curly. He learned how to make animal balloons, flowers, and all kinds of different things. And Dad, while he was learning, he popped so many balloons making them, learning how to achieve this delicate art. He wore a big red wig and wore a big red nose. And he was bald-headed, and it was so funny to see him dressed up with red hair on his head. He loved doing a variety of different things. He didn't just do 1 or 2 things. He enjoyed doing a little bit of everything and just learning along the way. He had so much fun just being a clown.
He wore a wig that looked like Red Skelton. It had curls in it. It was red, and they called him Cowboy Curly. That was his nickname. He'd go by Cowboy Curly in his clowning. He loved clowning. He loved going to kids and blowing up balloons and doing magic tricks. Just loved being active. I think a lot of that had to do with just not, he would be bored. If he didn't do that, he couldn't sit still. He was going 100 miles an hour all the time.
Well, as Dad worked at St. Anthony's Hospital, he was a gifted carpenter. He spoke and he smiled at everyone. He never met a stranger, but he always had a smile on his face. He put up a huge Christmas tree every year in the lobby at St. Anthony's. He was the delegated man to do this. The sisters from Saints, they always said that he knew every nook and cranny of that hospital. And if you want a job done right, ask him to do it, and it will be done right.
It was the whole hospital knew him. I mean, when you work somewhere for 30 years, you're well known and well liked. It was a big deal. And he had, of course, people that had retired before him came back for the party. But at that time, he was turning 65, and he was going to start a new venture in life.
This was in June of 1998, and they had a big cake and lots of great stories. The Sisters of Saints and the co-workers and family attended, and he was honored by a beautiful plaque that was made by another carpenter who Dad trained. His name was Dean Foley. And Dean made this plaque out of oak wood. And that was the day that Dad clocked out for the last time. And he was so happy. With Dad's funeral, it was on July the 25th of 2000, and it was at Sacred Heart Catholic Church. And the church was under construction, but that didn't matter. There was over 400 people that attended his funeral service. The marshal posse was there, the clowners were there, the Knights of Columbus were there. Every seat was full. They were standing in the aisles and even outside of the church to honor him. It was a very cloudy day out, and during Mass, we looked up, and through this stained glass window, all at once, the sun came out. It was a beautiful ray of sunshine. It was so touching and so beautiful to see. We knew he was smiling and he was okay, that he was going to be with God in heaven. It was something that I'll never forget. Well, Dad's legacy to the family, he was a great father. He was a fair man. He was a great role model. He always was a man to help others. He never put himself first. It never was I, or me. It was about helping others. And that was something that he learned from his parents. They instilled it in him.
He wasn't a complainer, he was a doer. He's like, don't complain if you don't have a solution. He was a solution person. If he didn't complain, he looked for a solution.
Find something you love, not that you like. They're like, listen, here's how it works, or their life play is. He said, if you find something you like, you're going to be good at it. There's nothing wrong with that, that's all good and everything's, fine. And he said, if you find something you love, then you're going to be great at it. So find something you love where you have passion or zest or zeal however you want to determine that and define it. And he said, then you'll be great at something.
We just all carry his traditions on. Never to forget where we came from. Nobody owes us anything. It's what we were born here to do, is to help others, carry on the tradition, and carry on the legacy that he's taught us, and hope that all the children in the future, in the past, just always remember the man that he was.